What is going on, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of A Coffee with Nick. I am super excited to be here, and I'm really excited to continue this series and see where it goes. Thank you for everybody who sent in their questions. In this weekly show, I will be answering any questions that you have pertaining to marketing, advertising, digital advertising, branding, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all sorts of stuff, what it's like to be surrounded by plants on a daily basis. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to this channel or wherever it is you're watching. We do this weekly on Instagram TV, we do it weekly on YouTube, and we do it weekly on Facebook. So let's get right to it. Yesterday, I asked some people to hit me with any questions that they might have on Instagram or on Facebook, and we got some messages back. The very first one I would like to answer comes from Rachel at Simplicity in Mind. Check it out. She's a e-commerce store owner, and she's got 2 brick and mortar locations here in West Palm Beach. Okay, so Rachel asks, I'd love to hear your opinion on business documenting versus creating visually appealing content. So I think this is something that is super important and way too often overlooked. If you're on any sort of social media outlet, you need to be using that as a way to attract an audience that's interested in the stuff that you offer. Too many of us on social media, I think that means that we have to be constantly putting out stuff about what we do or what we sell. So here, this is my product. Check out this new product that I got. This is my service. This is why I do it better than everybody else. Here's me. Here's a sale that we got going on, and it's all about me. That's not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is to put out stuff that your potential client is interested in, so they follow you for that reason because they're interested in what you're putting out. It may not be exactly your service or what you offer, but it's something that they're interested in and that your potential client would be interested in, so they follow you for that reason, and then they find out that it just so happens that you offer that service. But here's what happens when we start to talk about how you should be putting out things 4, 5, 6 times a day, whether it's on Instagram stories or Instagram posts or videos or Instagram TV or Facebook posts or Facebook videos or going live on Instagram or snaps on Snapchat, whatever it is you do, you need to be doing that at scale. So when you start talking about multiple times a day, when most of us have problems posting consistently once a day or once a week even, we start to freak out, and people start to freak out because they say, I have trouble doing this once a week. How am I supposed to do it 4 or 5 times a day? And that's where the difference between creating content creation, and documenting comes into play. If you're a small business owner or a freelancer, a jewelry maker, whatever it is you do, you're doing that every day of your life. For Rachel, for example, she may not be shopping for clothes every single day of her life to get new things in, but I guarantee you she's doing something to run her business every single day of her life, whether it's doing the books, whether it's redesigning the store, whether it's looking for inspiration and figuring out like trend forecasting, figuring out what's going to come in, what's going to be hot next season, so she can stay on top of that. You're doing something for your business or your passion every single day of your life. That's documenting. When you record your process in the form of photos or videos or blog posts, or just talking about things that you've learned, or documenting your process of going through that. So many people, I think it would be so cool. So many people are interested in, everybody wants to start a small business. Everybody wants to start a business, right? Everybody wants to make a living off of what they do. How cool is it to be able to watch somebody go through that and see that process and see their ups and their downs and their trials and tribulations and their successes? How cool would it be to have that documented, where after 4 or 5 years, once you do make it to your level of achievement, wherever it is that you want to go, or 10 years or 40 years down the road, that you have this body of work that people have been following along with, you have this body of work to look at the end of the day when you say, look, this is where I was and this is where I am now. That's documenting. You don't get that from creating content. You get that from documenting your process and documenting your content. So documentation really allows you to fully utilize Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, all these different social media networks the right way. right? Because we're going to be focused less on how much stuff we need to create and fabricate to tell the story we want to tell. Now we're just going to put out what it is that's actually happening in combination with a bit of content creation, more fully produced videos. In her example, lookbook videos of what's to come for a new season for summer 18, right? But those things are hard to make, those things take time, those things take money, effort. So you can't be putting those out 4 or 5 times a day. The only way to actually do that is to document your process, and that's where the mind change comes in. And that's where, once you figure that out and you understand that, then that's where you can really start to scale and start to utilize these platforms in the right way. So that's what I think about creating content versus documenting content, documenting your process. It's a mindful. Now let's talk about real quick an action step on how you can figure out the stuff that you can document or the stuff that you can create. So what I like to do is sit down with a pen and paper on your notes on your iPhone and just write down and just purge your mind of everything that you can do for content, everything that you can put out. If you're Rachel, for example, you could be putting out everything. Lookbook videos, you could be putting out how-to tips for styling. That would be huge. You could be putting out trend forecasting things. You could be putting out color palettes. You could be putting out things that don't even pertain to clothing but pertain to her brand, which is very like a anthropology type of thing, like a free people type of thing. So you could be putting out images and pictures that just represent that. Spring fields, like sunflowers. You could be putting out coffee recipes or tea recipes, whatever kind of pertains to her client. So once you have that all written down, you can take a look at that list, right? Now that it's all in front of you, you don't have to think about it anymore. You can just look at it and you pick the top 3 things off there that you can create. Then with those top 3 things, then you think about what those things would look like in the form of pictures, in the form of videos, right? In the form of stories, in the form of snaps, in the form of blog posts. Now you got all these different ways and these different outlets to put that content. Now you can maximize it, right? You don't just have this one idea about a lookbook video, right? You have a lookbook video that you can parlay and split up into into Instagram stories, into an IGTV episode, into a video for YouTube, into a video for Facebook, into a blog post, and into a bunch of series of images. Now your one idea of your content now is split up and put in multifaceted ways over all your social media channels. So let's go and look at a couple other questions that we got here. Brooks is a hip-hop R&B recording artist, also recording engineer, who asks, how do I schedule content that needs to be released? So it's tough. I know the hardest thing is staying consistent because we all have so much going on. And if you really want to maximize and utilize these platforms the right way, the only way to do it is to remain consistent, because these things have sort of a snowball effect. You're not going to see a ton of engagement or likes or whatever follows on your first pieces of content. It may take months, may take years to really kind of see how it pays off. Content marketing, and this is all forms of content marketing. Content marketing takes time to pay off. So how do you remain consistent in scheduling content that needs to be released? There's a few different tools that you can use. Hootsuite is a great one, which I use all the time for scheduling posts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well. So you can just kind of load that up and schedule all your different pieces of content to go out automatically. That way you don't have to remember to post on this day at this time. But before you get to that step, what I like to do is spend a day or 2 per month kind of coming up with all the different content that I'm going to put out, and then scheduling it on that day. So regardless, I know that if I don't post something today, just from just from like capturing what's going on throughout my day. If I know that I don't do that for whatever reason, I know that there's automatically going to be something that's coming out that's keeping me in front of people's faces, that's keeping me consistent. So I kind of have a base of content that's just going to be released. So I would definitely recommend using some sort of scheduling tool like that. You can use Hootsuite. It's free for up to like 30 scheduled posts per month. So you can get like one a day on there. But you want to make sure that you come up with that content that you're going to put up to schedule through there at the beginning of the month, and just kind of back it up a whole month through or a couple weeks through, whatever it is that works for your schedule. So yeah, definitely do that. But you don't just want to have a bunch of backdated scheduled content. You want to make sure that you're posting throughout the week just to keep your feed current and up to date, and you don't just have all these scheduled posts going out. But making sure that you use that in tandem with each other is going to make sure that you are at least putting out something on a daily basis. He also asks, how much time should I give myself to release records, and what should I be doing in the meantime? This, I think, kind of ties back to that create versus document question that we addressed already. As an artist, you should be the people who are just fully going for their dreams, the struggling artist, the person who's hungry as hell, who every day is just out there trying to get it and trying to make it happen. That's what people love to see, a success story. So documenting that, you have one of the most interesting lives in the world, whether you're famous or you're not famous. It's actually probably more intriguing if you're not famous and people are tuning in daily to figure out what it is you're doing, how you're getting there. You're one of the most inspirational people out there, and people really connect with artists in a way that you don't connect with a business person, and it's because you're offering up your feelings, you're showing your heart to people, and you're giving them an outlet to express themselves. So you have one of the best opportunities on social media to connect and build fans. I think you should be putting out as much music as possible, but putting it out in the right way. So don't just be throwing songs up on SoundCloud unless that's your goal, really. There's kind of no rules when it comes to music, right? And art. So if you can make 500 songs and you can make them dope, and you're not making them super shitty, then put out 500 songs. Put them out every single day, put out a new song. Once a week, put out a new song. If you know you can do that, then do that. That's your thing, right? And I guarantee you, people would definitely catch on. After a year, you'll be set. You'll have a big-ass fan base if you're putting out a song a week or a song a day, right? But if that's not your thing, then don't try to do that, because what's going to happen is you're going to be putting out a song a week, and you're going to do 2 songs, and then by the 3rd week, you're going to miss your deadline because your schedule didn't align, because you're not able to get in the studio, you're not able to put the shit out, whatever it is. If that's not your thing, then don't do that. You got to figure out what your thing is, because it comes back to attracting the right audience, right? If your thing is putting out a song a week, you're going to attract people that mess with you because of that. But if you're trying to make that your thing and it's not your thing, people are going to follow you for that you're putting out a song a week and be like, this guy's crazy, he's really great, he's super talented, he's a crunch time guy, he can probably great freestyle, or he could just make this thing happen. And that's why they're following you. When you don't deliver on that, then they're going to drop off, right? And that's not the people that you want to have. If your thing is putting out a song once a month, but you're releasing it in the right way, and when I say the right way, I mean you're taking your time to create content to build up to that release. You're talking about behind the scenes stuff in the studio. You're talking about these songs have more weight maybe for you. They're more serious, they're more thought-provoking, or they're more goes into them. You need to be talking about that on a daily basis. You should be, whether you're whatever type of artist you are, on a daily basis, you need to be documenting your life, right? You need to be going hard at what you do, because music is one of the most competitive things to be in, because everybody is an artist nowadays, especially a rapper, right? And that's the truth, because music has become so accessible for people. You can go get a free crack program that the professionals are using. You can get all the crack plugins the professionals are using. The barrier of entry is so low that everybody's trying to do it, and it's so saturated. So you need to figure out what your thing is, stick to it, and be consistent at it. So I would say, in the meantime of releasing songs, you need to be putting out content that speaks to your audience that speaks to the type of music that you make. If you make music that's all about turning up, then you need to be posting stuff that's all about turning up, right? Because the people that are into turning up are going to follow you because they found your pictures or your videos or your stories about turning up, because that's what they like to do. And they're going to say, okay, this dude talks about turning up. Now, when he drops a song, that's probably what it's going to be about, and I like that kind of music, right? If your music is about love or about breakups, then that's the type of stuff that you need to be posting about, because that's the type of stuff that your fans would be into, okay? So in the meantime, you need to figure out what it is that your brand represents, that your music represents, and you need to figure out what that looks like in picture form, in video form, in story form, and you'd be putting that kind of stuff out. But in respect to how much time should I give myself to release records, you need to figure out how often and how consistently you can personally release records. If you can release a record once a week and that's what you can do, and then fucking do it, own it, step up and release a record once a week. And that's going to be your thing. People would love to watch that. If you can do it once a day, if you can do it once a month, figure out what is a good time for you and what you can do, and do that. I think that's it, guys, for the very first episode of A Coffee with Nick. Super excited really to be here and to be doing this. Can't wait to see where it goes. If you have any questions that you'd like for me to answer in the next video, like I said, these are coming out every single week. Please hit me up at Nick Laiupa, NickLaiuppa, Laiupa, like chalupa from Taco Bell. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. If you know somebody who might benefit from this, tag them in the post. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Cafe Bustelo with almond milk, ice, real simple recipe. You're talking about brew that coffee, and then you're talking about making it cold, right? Icing it up, pouring it down. You ice it up and then you pour it down. That's the thing. Ice it up, pour it down. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the very first episode. This thing's gonna be done before I even start.